Several people, for a very long time, have been very preoccupied with my cheating on my husband. Whether it's people I know personally or absolute strangers, there's been a bizarre fixation on my sex life. Mainly the sex I seem to be having with anyone other than my husband. There are 2 reasons that this has been on the top of my mind, but we need to back up a little bit first. I recently reconnected with my teenage niece, the daughter of my husband's late brother. I hadn't been able to see or speak to her because years ago, we cut out her parents for extremely valid reasons. One of which was her father, my husband's brother, calling him and feeding him ridiculous lines about me, such as insisting I was cheating on him. Now, at the time, my husband and I were always home together, and we had 4 children who were under 5 years old. I also lost my phone several times a day, and it didn't even have a passcode on it. When my husband told me of his brother's concerns, I picked up my phone and handed it to him. Now you might be thinking that I could easily conceal any wrongdoings, but alas, I'm unfortunately extremely terrible with technology. My husband realized in this moment, when I handed him my phone without question, that his wife, mother to his 4 small children, who really doesn't go anywhere, and is signed into all of her accounts on all his devices, is very unlikely to be currently cheating on him. So we distanced ourselves from his brother and his brother's wife. His brother also claimed that his prophetess wife, who had been slighted when she asked to be the new religious leader of our family, and I politely declined, he claimed that she had been told by God that I was possessed by demons. Naturally. There really were quite a few reasons why we cut them out. But there is a reason for this tale. Like I said, I recently reconnected with my niece, and she told me a few days ago that she asked her mother why she hated me so much. Do you know what the former prophetess said? She told her daughter that her father had been cheating with me. That's why she didn't like me. So the guy who called my husband, telling him that I was cheating on him, had now apparently cheated with me at some point. Why was this the go-to? Why was cheating on my husband the go-to for these people? One of their reasons for hating me, when they knew I was an exceedingly loyal person. Well, I actually do have answers for those questions. Recently, I posted a humorous video where I had a back and forth with my husband. In the video, we are obviously very playful with one another, and the video even ends with us both laughing. Well, this seemed to upset quite a few men. I mean, this video was viewed nearly 1 million times between all the platforms I put it on. And a lot of commenters immediately attacked my fidelity to my husband, saying such things as they can already tell I'm cheating on him. At first, this struck me as very bizarre, but then I realized a couple basic facts. Firstly, miserable people hate to see that others have something that they don't. In this situation, a happy relationship. So they need to convince themselves that what they see before them isn't the truth. So many men needed to attack me personally and go after my virtue, whether it was being a liar or cheating on my husband. Neither of us are allowed to be happy because they aren't. This is always the case for anyone who blindly attacks someone else or creates a vendetta against them. Secondly, people will always fixate on their own shortcomings and out of subconscious guilt, apply those same shortcomings to others. Subconsciously, they hate themselves because of their defects. They don't want to face themselves, so they battle their demons by seeing them in others. So now, someone who accuses someone else of sexual immorality without any real evidence is very likely living in sexual immorality. In the case of those random guys, it was likely porn addiction. These people refuse to battle their own demons, so they need to envision others in a deeper pit of hell for their guilt than they are in. Cheating on your partner in a relationship is wrong. I have a whole recent video about all of that. That is partly why these people go after that specific sin. They are sexually disordered. That's why it's at the top of their mind. Now, someone who is sexually disordered will bristle at the idea that they are near someone else who is not. You see examples of this with the fake alpha male types who claim that men are supposed to have multiple partners. They're disordered and they cannot love, so they try to change what they claim is normal. You also see this with women claiming that body count doesn't matter, but then also hating on trad girls. As an absolute goody two-shoes who wrote and argued for chastity in all forms, beginning when I was a preteen and I saw already how debauchery was affecting my peers, as you can imagine, I upset a lot of people with my mere existence. One such person was my husband's biological mother. For the sake of the story, we'll just call her Satan. So a few months after my now husband and I got together, Satan called me up to reiterate to me just how much she doesn't like me. Being the silly little thing that I was, I attempted to reason with her. On one such call, she said to me, "I don't understand why my son couldn't pick someone like me." Yeah, that was real life. That was real life, guys. I knew the exact reasons, of course, but at the moment I pressed her by asking, "What do you mean?" She went on to lament in exasperation, saying arguably one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard. "Well, no one told me you were a virgin." I responded, "Why would they? How does that come up in polite conversation? Hey, you know B's new girl? She's not the town bike." She just bristled and went on to chide me more about something else. But that's the point, isn't it? I wasn't like her. This woman prided herself on her promiscuity when she was younger, even once bragging to me about how she didn't have to pay rent one summer when she was 19. My husband's brother married someone exactly like his mother, and interestingly enough, Satan didn't like her either. But they both sure hated me. I bring people together that way. And despite the fact that I didn't parade around my beliefs in chastity, and I really did all that I could to keep the family together, including taking much of their abuse, they insisted to others that they didn't like me because I was arrogant. You see, when people live in a state of rejecting virtue and then encounter someone who embraces it, they cannot fathom it. And so then they must attack that person because that person's mere existence makes them feel badly about themselves. So now we're back to the fixation on my cheating on my husband. The people who want this so badly want it so that they can feel better about themselves, feel better about their lack of a healthy, thriving relationship. But do you know one of the main reasons why these people cannot fathom a healthy, thriving relationship? It's because their parents didn't have one. The pit of relationship and societal failure is dug deeper by the parents who do not love their partners. So stop asking yourself what's wrong with someone else's relationship and take that energy and love your partner. And for you bitter incels, turn off your computer. Don't cheat yourself or anyone else. And don't worry, I'm going to make sure my niece knows what a good relationship looks like. I'm not going to let her fall into that pit. Ignite the truth and boldly go.